Flynn, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love the hairdo.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Can't work in the audio industry without having a little bit of flair. So
Yeah, you got nice long locks, letting it flow, man. There was a time in my life, believe it or not, my hairline is starting to creep back up. But there was a time in my life where, I had it down and I used to braid my hair and I used to braid it down to the side so it'll come underneath my cheek. And my mom used to braid my hair and then I grew it out again. I didn't cut my hair till I was like maybe 8, 9 years old, and then when I was maybe from the time I was 19 to 25, I had long hair, and then when my son was born, I decided to do it one more time, um, and then I said no because it wasn't growing in the back and it wasn't growing right here, and it was like okay, this is just too much. It's too much. All right, well, let's get started. It's 5:03. Folks will continue to join in. What may I do for you all today? Who wants to go first? Don't be shy.
I just came to listen. I'm still trying to kind of learn everything I can. Doing the PMP courses. So
Okay. So what so far what's been the toughest challenge? What's been the best part? What's been the hardest part?
I'm gonna go with the easy answer and say getting up for 5 a.m. classes is the hardest part. But
Yes. Yes.
um, no, for me, I mean, organization doesn't come supernatural to me. I am one of the more disorganized people I know. And so, I kind of fell into a project manager role. My actual degree is in electrical engineering. So, kind of
Okay.
learning how to better organize those types of things instead of being so scatterbrained has been nice, and sort of learning sort of like structures and how to do it in a business way instead of just like delegating tasks has been nice.
Sure. Okay. Okay. All right. Alicia, what about you? What's what's the hardest part? What's the easiest part?
I think I will agree with the person that was saying that getting up at 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I think um, the hardest part is going to be like getting back in the rhythm because I have some personal situation that I have to leave work and stay out for, it's been 2 years now.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just looking to have better opportunities, even though I have a background and I have an education. I'm just looking for better opportunities. And I've done the project management work. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't have the certification.
Got you. Got you. Got you. Priyanka, what about yourself?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Perfect. Um, I guess the hardest part is just like by memorizing the definitions. It's been a long time since I studied anything. So I guess memorizing the definitions and the the um, the different formulas and things like that. That's probably what has been hard for me so far. But the classes really helped, and I actually took the mock exam an hour back, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. So I'm a bit more at ease right now.
Are you comfortable sharing your score?
I didn't take the whole thing, just the first hour for our
Okay.
class tomorrow.
Uh-huh. And
Oh, I didn't realize like I could check the score. I didn't check my score. I just stopped at question 50
okay, okay, okay. Fair enough, fair enough.
for
Well,
our class
you know,
tomorrow.
let's talk about what you just mentioned. Memorizing formulas and memorizing terms. There are some things that yeah, while you need to know, you don't really need to memorize much formulas. Now there will be a list of formulas that I will give you all to go over and study. And yeah, you might want to try to remember them, but what really happens, at least for the exam, is that the moment that you know those formulas, you don't even need them, right? You're going to learn to write them down before your exam. So you will do a little bit of memorization, but it's not as much as you think. And then all of a sudden you'll get to the exam, and it's like you're gonna recognize it. Man, I don't even need this. Why? Because it'll be in your head. So um, when I give you the study guide uh, tomorrow, because I'll ask you guys to do nothing on Friday. I know that'll be hard. I want you to do nothing. I don't want you to study. You need to take some time off, right? Your brain will still be working, the stuff will still be going on, but you need to take some time away. And then once you come back, uh, you will definitely you'll definitely be able to do what you need to do. What I'm going to ask of you guys is to then take some exams on the weekends, and then from the exams, you'll do a little bit of studying during the week. The study guide that I give you is meant for someone who's working 40, 50, 60 hours a week as a project manager. And, so you can modify it up, meaning if you have more time, then you can do it. But it's a tried and true method. Let's welcome Sparrow. How you doing, Sparrow? You can't talk. Did I unmute you, Sparrow?
Hi there. I'm good.
All right, all right.
Just got done with a little nap, so I'm like
Waking up.
trying to get back in the game.
Yep. Okay. So, I know you guys have been in the class. We can do a couple things. We can just talk project management. We can talk your how does this fit in your jobs, which is probably what we should do, because this will really sort of help it to sink in. And then if you have specific questions, like Priyanka, if you have specific questions about some of the test questions that you took, then we can go over that as well. So I'm gonna go in order by who I see on my screen. So Flynn, you told me a little bit about your background, electrical engineer. You're now in the music industry. What kind of projects are you managing though?
So the biggest one right now is we're actually potentially looking at switching our inventory management system, which kind of runs our whole operation. It creates our purchase orders, tells us how much stock we have, is how we sell to our dealers. And we're looking to switch over because our current solution really wasn't working for us. And so it's been a lot, both just in testing new potential solutions, evaluating them, and now looking at kind of the game planning, everything as far as what actually making the transition includes, because it's a lot of data migration. So that's been the biggest project recently. Other than that, it's usually a lot of kind of day-to-day stuff. I manage all of our hardware products here um, for a couple different microphones and things like that. So it's doing compliance documentation and things of that nature.
Okay, so let's talk about this inventory management system.
Yeah.
Are you bringing on a vendor to do the work, or are you guys going to choose a software and you're going to do the implementation yourself?
So we're not bringing on a vendor to necessarily like find the solution. We've been doing the evaluation. The company that we're at least currently looking at going with, they have like an onboarding process
Okay.
for getting in. But there was also some external stuff, like we had to figure out some integrations with it that they don't necessarily offer internally. So doing a lot of that evaluation, it's been all us internal to the company.
Okay. So in your mind, you guys have started this project already.
Yes.
Good, because you have, right? You're evaluating. You're evaluating. All right. So tell me what that was like when you guys said, "All right, we're gonna do this," and you were the one picked to manage like this project, to lead this thing. How did that come about?
Another day where the software solution we were using wasn't working for us. Something was going wrong, or functionality that we needed wasn't there. And kind of just an initial realization slash decision that just there has to be a better way. We can't be the only ones needing a solution like this. So kind of day one, half appointed myself to just spearhead it, because I didn't think anyone else was going to do it for me. So
Okay.
on that day, just kind of started the research process.
So who would you consider to be the sponsor of this project?
I don't know. Probably the company itself.
Okay.
Um, my role is sort of, part project management, part engineering manager. So, it's kind of me, the engineering manager, telling me, the project manager, to do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're a smaller company than I think most people in our industry think we are. So it's a lot of multiple hat wearing.
That's fair. That's fair. Listen, project managers aren't PMs all the time. We talked about that. We talked about like having a functional, we talked about the matrix organizations and then the projectized organizations. So you're in a functional organization. So
Mhm.
when you're done with this project, you go back to being engineering manager full time, right? So right
Yeah.
now you're part-time PM. Okay. So um is there anyone else helping you with picking out software or going through any of the process that you're going through right now?
Yeah. So I have a logistics manager on my team who has been helping me with certain things as far as like making sure all the documentation that the software produces works for our 3PL. Our sales manager helped evaluate all of the sales functionality and CRM functionality. And so we did a lot of mock testing in that environment to make sure that the software was going to solve our needs, because the biggest thing we wanted to do is make sure we weren't moving to another software that was going to not work.
Sure, sure.
Uh,
Okay, so they're technically your other SMEs, if you will. They're your subject matter experts that are going through, right? They're your SMEs. Okay. All right. We're gonna connect everything back to what you're doing, so you got that. Okay. So they're your SMEs. And you guys have been going through requirements, right? So you've been looking at the requirements for what you need. Probably some functional requirements, some non-functional requirements, like can you tell me at this point? Can you decipher between functional versus non-functional requirements for you guys?
Probably not, because that was just today. So I'm still
Okay,
reviewing
that's
it. I
fair.
usually nightly go over all my. I take all my notes in OneNote. So it's
Oh,
easy to
nice.
pick
Okay,
everything up.
okay, okay. All right. So then the scope of your project is to replace your whole inventory management system, right? So your POs, your stocks. It's how you guys sell. Does it and have you guys are you about to purchase it?
Yeah, we're basically at the point now where, barring any last minute hiccups, that we'll probably, do the final purchase for it next week. Um,
Okay.
and then it goes into the onboarding and migrating all of our data, which is that itself is going to be a lot.
Okay. So technically, you guys you developed your procurement strategy, so to speak, was to look at vendors that likely they did well in your industry, and then you guys went you looked at a few, and then you looked at like probably what the proprietary, these are the terms I'm using, right? What they had, what they could offer, and now you're kind of in evaluation mode. Did they give you a like a sample or a demo software that you guys could play with?
Yeah, yeah. So we've been demoing it in a test environment.
Okay. Oh, in a test environment. Tell me about that.
So basically, they have you can sign up for a demo license of the software. Um, we brought in just some dummy data that mostly not references, that's the wrong word. It mostly represents what we would be doing. And then every day for about 2 weeks, we would go in and use it like we would our current solution that's not working. And before we did anything, we looked at what the numbers were at the start, did by hand what they all should be, which is a lot of work. And then at the end, saw and made sure that everything was correct, like after we did all of our test transactions and everything.
Okay.
We were able to evaluate the consistency and everything of it. So
If you were to start this all over again, learning what you've learned so far in the class, would you do this as a waterfall project or would you do it as an agile project?
hmm, probably agile. There's a lot of things that could be happening, and I think it's also more important that things are like yes, no, like done or not done, because as I've now pointed out or kind of laid everything out and starting to use a little bit more of what we've learned in the class, there's still a lot more individual tasks that have to be done than I think I thought there were.
Okay. You must be
uh,
looking at a whiteboard. I see you over there and it's like you're seeing
yeah. Oh
all your
yeah.
tasks. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, let's give you a break. I'm gonna come back to you. I now see Sparrow. Sparrow, I see you next. How are you doing, Sparrow?
Hey, I'm okay. So the question you're asking about as far as how it applies to like my business.
Well, I haven't asked that yet. First,
Okay,
I'm
I
gonna.
wasn't sure.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm picking on you because you just got on. So, I'm asking you. First of all, what's the best part and the worst part of the class so far?
Well, I think that your presentation of it, so I think I told you I have taken the class previously, and I just felt like for me, I come from a clinical research background now, and I actually after I already signed up for this and everything, I realized that ACRP has a specific project management certificate now, which I'm like, maybe I could have just done that, but it's been good to kind of see, how I might apply these things outside of clinical research. Basically, I've been consulting and working with physicians to start up clinical research practices, and that is there's just a lot of work on the getting business side that I've been wanting to transition back into regular employment. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I'm applying for positions, I've gotten that question, like, have you, a lot of the higher level positions are in either program management or project management. I've been working more in operations. And so I get these questions like, what's your favorite project management software? And I'm like, I like basically a whiteboard and Post-it notes. Like, I haven't had to do much of that because I'm working with smaller teams, or I'm building the team as I go. I'm playing the role of basically all the different team members until I fill those roles, and then I'm out of the company and I'm moving on to another client.
Right.
So
Right.
so it's been really kind of, I think, helpful for me to see like how this might work in a corporate setting, because I'm trying, I'm interviewing for those jobs. What's the hardest thing about the class? I don't know. I think I really do like the way that you are. I'm a little bit maybe ADD. And so I like that you are like just very straightforward. Like, we get through it quickly. I had tried to dip into a different class before this one, and I wasn't able to get through the first class because I was like wanting to hit my head against a wall somewhere. So just, if that's a compliment, like, you don't make me want to hit my head against the
Oh,
wall
well,
when you
thank you. I
when
appreciate
you
that.
talk about this stuff. So
All right.
but yeah, I don't really have any complaint per se.
What project are you working on at the moment?
So my project right now is get a job. So I basically have been I had been working directly with one-on-one clients, and with the pandemic, like, I think a lot less people are interested. I work with physicians who want to start or scale their research practice. A lot of that was put on hold at the very beginning, and then, obviously there's a lot of risk involved with startups. And so I think that people have been that's been a less appealing idea. And so it's kind of, everything is slowed down. And so I've really been just kind of thinking of transitioning to back into the workforce, and had got a lot of feedback, honestly, that like that startups like working with a consultant and with people with a consulting background, like, but more corporate spaces are, I think, sometimes averse to it. I get a lot of questions like, well, what's going to stop you from just going back into consulting when that picks up again? And so I feel like I get like this resistance, and like maybe I essentially, like, I wasn't using the right language. I didn't have the words that they were looking for me to say. So I feel like this course kind of, helps with that. And really, I think would help with the consulting aspect too, because a lot of the tools that you were talking about, as far as, being able to come up with like charts and graphs and show them what the exact risk looks like and everything. Those are things that I did in not really in a quantifiable way before,
Uh-huh.
just talking about like, well, in my experience, it's been like this is what I think. So it kind of, I think, professionalizes the work that I do a little bit, because it will let me, kind of have a presentation that is a little more impressive, even though it's the same data and the same information. I can present it in a way that it's
You have a
maybe
term
more
for it.
compelling.
Yeah, you got a name for it. You got a term for it. You can kind of be very linear with how you present it. So let me give you a little piece of advice during these interviews. When folks ask you about, hey, what's to stop you? You should always say, nothing's to stop me. The goal is that you guys are going to have this great environment and you're going to have enough projects for me that there's no reason for me to go. Throw it back to them. Throw
Yeah.
it back to them because see, they've picked to interview you because they thought on paper she can do the job. So now it's, will we like her? All right. So it's, always when you're in these interviews, throw it back. Don't be afraid to be like, oh well, I'm looking for something and I want to be stable. No, just say, hey, I'm a consultant and that's I'm in the field because people desire my skill set, but I am looking to find a home and I'm hoping that you guys are going to be the home. So what's to stop me? Well, nothing. But obviously, if you guys keep your employees around, then there's no reason for me to go either. So, tell me a little bit more about what that looks like. All right, you guys got to, redirect. Tell me a little bit more what that looks like. Like, is there, after this interview, is it possible that I could maybe do a walkthrough and talk to some of your other PMs? And, what's a day in the life of a PM like? I'd love to talk to one of those folks and see what that's like. And all of a sudden, be like, oh my gosh, nobody ever asked us this. Oh, she's the one. So that's, that's a tip that I'll leave you with. I'm gonna come
Yeah,
back
I
to in a
appreciate
second
it.
about the software. Okay, Priyanka, I see you next. Tell me, what's on your mind? Priyanka.
Hi, hi. Can you
Oh,
hear
there
me?
you go. There you go.
Sorry, I think I missed the question.
Oh, I didn't ask your question. I just called your name. I wanted to hear your voice first. So, I think I did ask you what the best and the worst part of the class is. Did I ask you that so far?
Um, I guess you asked me what the best and worst part of the exam is.
Okay, yeah, that's right, the exam. All right, so what is your project right now? What are you working on? How can I help you at the moment?
So just to give you a little background, I work as a program manager for cancer clinical trials at a hospital system here in Hartford, Connecticut.
Hmm.
And so a lot of my job responsibilities include managing startup activities such as finance, regulatory, legal work, operations, feasibility reviews, and things like that before we actually open a clinical trial within the hospital. So that whole process takes about easily 6 to 7 months, and
Sure.
it involves like multiple teams and multiple departments, and obviously with that also multiple attitudes and personalities and things like that. So I think this certification and these concepts is really going to help me understand how to manage projects better. And I'm hoping to use the concepts that I learned during class and from through the books to help me be a better project manager and hopefully have a more efficient, productive process.
Is there, if there was one thing, like let's say this, with your projects right now, I know that, going through the course, getting the certification, you're like, okay, I hope this is going to help me. But if there's one thing about your job right now that you're like, I wonder if CJ could help me with. I wonder if I told him X, he would be able to help me with Y. What would that be?
Hmm. Um, I mean, I think one challenge that I face at work is that I don't get enough support in terms of resources and just general advice from the management when it comes to the processes that I have. So we have definitely like I've definitely identified certain inefficiencies in the process, and I've mentioned that to my manager, but it doesn't really seem like they want to do anything about it. And so I'm in this fix where I know there's an inefficiency. I know I can cut down the process by so many X number of days, X number of months, but there's nothing that's they're really doing about it.
Okay, so what do you need them to do?
I mean, it has to come from a top level directive. So if they can speak to that team and make sure that they deliver their goals in the set time. Because I mean, I've tried talking to them, but I mean, they say they deliver, they say they do this, but it doesn't actually happen. So I feel like the director should come from a higher level authority, and hopefully, I'm hoping that could bring the change, or some sort of stronger action other than just telling them you need to do it better.
Okay. When you have these questions, these conversations with management, um, is it just a conversation, or do you bring documentation with you? Do you bring paperwork? Do you whiteboard anything out?
Um, Uh, Sort of, I guess a bit, but I could be better at it. I do bring up data
Mm-hmm.
to show that how long they take
Mm-hmm.
and how they're causing the biggest delay in the process, and that's why we delay our startup timeline in opening a clinical trial in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So I've showed those numbers, but it was just a few data points. It wasn't like a um, solid analysis.
Okay. So analysis or not, here's my advice for you on that. Um, Not that they don't care about anything else, but executives care about the bottom line, and the bottom line is always dollars. So if you can equate time lost to money lost, and there's many different ways to do this. This could be that you guys are being slower to market than your competitors. You're taking longer to develop a product that if it was out 3 or 4 months, then that's 3 or 4 months of revenue that you would be able to achieve. If you can show that, if you can, like, that's what you lead with. You're like, listen, I've done some analysis. I just want to show you guys something. I know you guys have heard me about, the teams aren't delivering, but listen, I have the solution. I need you to speak to the team about the solution. But let me tell you why. All right. So currently we're delivering in X number of days, and this is what our process looks like. Here's all of the gaps or the points that we can break down. And if we were to solve this, we could save X percentage. Now, what does that mean for us? That means that if we deliver on this date, we will be ahead of these competitors that typically deliver in this time, and it would equate to X amount of revenue for the company, whether that be increased market share, whether that be publicity, right? Positive publicity because we are the ones who are out there first, and that which then that means that's free marketing and it's available for us. You need to be able to speak to it at that level, so that way their ears will perk up like, oh, does that make sense so far?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense.
So when you bring in your data points, try to make it a visual. Try to
Hmm.
draw out the timeline, whether you use a Gantt chart. Maybe you can use the roadmap, the ones that I taught you guys over the last couple of days. Show a roadmap that shows like the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Show how you can cut back a quarter, and then equate that to dollars. Equate that to market share. Equate that to doing good for the community, more lives saved because you guys are developing a cancer solution, right?
Mm.
If you have those data points, that's what matters to the executives because that's what they're thinking, that's what they're sort of tasked with, and then they've tasked you to go and manage the project. So then you say, listen, um, um, the other part is this: we talked about scope, schedule, budget, and you can't change one without changing the other, right? So if we want to cut back our cost, then we need to decrease the time to market. If we decrease time to market, then it also increase the bottom line that we'll get. So you can show them a little something like that, and you can say, so in order for me to achieve this, what I simply need you guys to do is to come and deliver this message to these teams. Show them this data, and you give it to them, give them the data, and allow them to make use of that and say, I just need you to speak to the team in this manner. And say, I've already written it out for you. If you need me to, I can go to marketing, have them make sure that we wordsmith it, go to HR, make sure it's said it in the right way. But I just need you to do this for us, and it's going to make you look good. You can deliver it in a way that you know how to deliver it to those folks, but that's ultimately what you need to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's very helpful. Thank you, CJ. Can I
Absolutely.
also ask your advice about change management?
Yes.
Because I mean, so let's say I successfully convince the senior management. How will I convince the in this example, the department that's causing the delay? How can I convince them to perform better?
Great question. Okay, so when we're talking about an organizational change, that comes from the executives, right? So the people need to care that, oh, the organization is going in this manner. So the executives are the one that need to state that, hey, we want to deliver sooner to market. We want to, we want to cut down this time. Then when it comes to someone's job, it's their direct boss that they care, their supervisor, not a VP, not a director, not like people don't really care about that. They care about the people that they directly report to. So then those are the people that you need to go and find, and you need to have a coalition of those folks, right? And I think we talked about the coalition today. So you get those people, you get those supervisors, those line managers, and you say, hey, you know, and this is after you've gotten the executives on board, and you say, this is the executives are going to deliver this message. Now I need you guys to help me light the fire under the people. The people are going to, so it's something called ADKAR. Matter of fact, let me show it to you here. See if I put this up. There it goes. ADKAR. ADKAR, okay? So the A stands for awareness. Everybody needs to be aware of why this needs to happen, right? And you'll be able to communicate that. We've talked about that already. Then they need the knowledge. They need the knowledge of how to do this. So you've already done that work. You've already talked about here's the processes that we can fix. I see some inefficiencies. Here's some new things that we have, right? Then, excuse me, they need the desire. That's the D. They need a desire to do it, and the desire is going to come from their supervisor or their boss. Some incentive of like the team that is able to implement these processes first gets gets a team dinner or a team lunch or gets gift cards, whatever your company does, right? Because every company is a little bit different about how they offer gifts to their employees. This is also where you got to go back to the executives and like have them approve this beforehand. But the first team to do it gets recognized, right? Something like that. All right. We'll go for a team dinner and we'll buy shirts from the company and we'll all go out and have a good time or something like that, right? You need to like gamify it, right? Make it a game. Right? So now they have the desire to make the change. Then you got to give them the knowledge, and you've already done the work of figuring out what those processes look like. So you'll give them the knowledge in order to do that. All right. And after that, it's the stability and the reinforcement. That's the last A and R, right? So it's the ADKAR. One of the things that you can do is in that model, ADKAR, the awareness, the desire, the knowledge, the ability, and then the reinforcement is on a scale of 1 to 5. And shoot me an email. I'll send this over to you. But on a scale of 1 to 5, you need to write down where you think each of these teams are. And a 3 is the barrier point. So if they're at a 3 or lower, then that means that that's where you start. So if awareness is not at a 4, then you need to make them aware, right? If desire, if the awareness is at a 3 or higher, and it's the desire, then that's where you start, right? So that's the first thing, is to do this ADKAR, go through from the executives to the managers to the people that are working, just using a little Excel spreadsheet with some columns, write down the numbers of where you think they're at, and then you find that barrier point and you begin there. And you begin building either the awareness, the desire, or the knowledge. All right. And then things will go. Now, this is how you change, because you need to change people's behaviors. That's really what you need to do. We can offer everybody the best processes. We can offer them the best tools. If we don't change their behaviors, nothing's going to happen. So I'm glad you asked that question. That's the model. Email me so I can send you a little bit more documentation on how to do that. I have some templates that I can share with you, and then you'll be able to utilize that. And then we can just kind of, communicate back and forth via email as you go along for the next couple weeks doing this, and I can walk you through it.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this is the most interesting / challenging part of project management. You have to manage everybody, but you don't really have like proper authority over anybody. So that's always been a challenge.
Leading without power. That's what they have us do. That's what they have us do. Okay. So now I see Alicia. So Alicia, sounds like you and Sparrow are in a similar scenario. Tell me if there's one thing that CJ could help me with right now, whether that's interviewing, whether it's managing projects. What would that be?
Let's see. um, I think a mix of both, I would say,
Okay.
because I think, like I mentioned before on the class, I think that besides, you teaching us and all that, I of what I've heard and how how you hold on, I'm thinking in Spanish.
Sure.
How you present the class and all that, I think you're a great resource that I can benefit from all the information that you can actually provide.
Okay, so let's talk about both. Pick one to start. Pick either a last project that you had that was difficult. Tell me what it is, what was difficult about it, and we can discuss that challenge. And then pick, some aspect of the job search, whether it's the resume aspect, whether it's the interviewing aspect, whether it's okay now that I've interviewed, how do I pick the right company?
I think when it comes to a project in the past, I haven't so far encountered one that has been super challenging. And I
What?
know the what.
You're my first. You are my first. Okay,
Um,
I'm serious. You haven't experienced a challenge in any project.
well, I mean, like I'm thinking a major challenge.
Ah, okay. Okay, great.
Obviously I have faced a few challenging, but we have meet and discuss about it and come to a happy medium, and then all parties are happy, and then we can proceed and move on. Mostly that has been the issue, that either two people have different points of view and they're trying to play who's has more power over the other.
Okay.
So in that case, we have, meet. Uh, I have been like, how do you call that? El árbitro. I don't know how you call that in English.
Arbitro, arbitro. You're
Um,
like the mediator. The mediator.
yeah,
Hmm.
in their conversation. See, my dogs even want to talk.
Don't worry about your
And
dog. We like
um,
your dog.
I have been kind of the mediator, and then I have at the end give like my point of view and try to bring them both to the same to where I'm trying to get them, for them to actually um acknowledge whether, oh, maybe I was going over my head or this and that, and then we get to a happy medium and can move on.
Was it helpful today then when we talked about the conflict resolution techniques to know when do you force it versus when do you smooth things over? When you get people to compromise versus when you get them to collaborate, right?
Oh
Remember we
yes,
had those.
definitely.
Yeah, so now you have those techniques and you know because there's not one that's better than the other. So there's going to be times where you want someone to withdraw or you want to force it. You want someone to compromise or you want them to collaborate. All right? Or you're just going to smooth things over. So now that you have those five techniques, don't forget the motivational techniques, right? Try to understand who's motivated by power, and usually a lot of people are, who's motivated by the achievement, and then who's motivated by affiliation. And then you can use one of those two, three, one of those angles to kind of figure out how to manage those people. But let me tell you about something called the principled yes in negotiations, right? Because oftentimes when we negotiate, if you've ever gone through a negotiation class or you're either a lawyer or you're in let's say procurement, you're a buyer, right? The art of negotiations is to make the other side give up their position first. We want you to say what you want. So it's kind of like even let's say let's bring it back to interviewing, right? Oftentimes the companies will say, how much are you looking for, right? And you want to make them give up their position first because you might be looking for a number, and if you throw it back to them and say, well, how much are you guys willing to pay, their number might be higher than the number that you would ask for, right? So you want to each side is trying to make the other side give up their position first, and then someone's trying to win, right? Well, in project management, we have something called the principled yes, where what we do is we eliminate positions because oftentimes somebody trumps somebody by either title or by seniority, like time there, or by power in terms of influential power. Maybe they're friends or they know a VP or a director or something like that. So if we can eliminate those positions, And then when we call it the principled yes, what we do is we look for both sides. What do you want? What do you want? And instead of somebody giving something up, we invent a way where both sides are happy, where both sides are satisfied. And that's what we call the principled yes. The key, though, the key to the whole principled yes, because it sounds simple, it's like, oh, yeah, easier said than done, CJ. The key is being able to get people to eliminate when I say their position, I don't mean their stance or where they stand on an issue. I mean their position in terms of like, I'm senior to you, or I've been here longer, or anything like that. If we can eliminate that, then it's what's your goal that we need to satisfy? What's your goal that we need to satisfy? Okay, what if? How can we? What about? Have you thought of maybe? And these are key
Or we
terms that you
could,
can use,
yeah.
right? These are key terms that you can use to redirect people's energy from a negative position to a positive position. Have you thought about, what if, maybe? Like these are things that you get people, without saying, hey, let's sometimes you can be very direct and just say, all right, let me play devil's advocate, right? You can just say that at times if you think if you think it's necessary. So that those are one of the things that you can do there. So, but it sounds like you're good at that already. I just talking to you and listening to you, and then in a couple minutes on this call, sounds like you actually have that skill set. So now, what else can I help you with? And then I'm gonna come back to you, Flynn.
I think my major focus right now, it's I have been before your class. I didn't want to be like a lost puppy because, like I said, it's been a minute. So I just was a plural site
Mm-hmm.
taking some courses. Essentially, it's the same thing that we were talking in the class, but obviously you went deeper, but kind of, becoming comfortable with all the concepts and all that. And what I'm looking for is to get back to the job search or start my job search because honestly, I haven't really like looked for a job. But I do want to get prepared to have the best opportunity because mixed with my experience and my background is basically in management and sales.
What
So
what
I
industry?
think I'm sorry,
What industries?
enterprise and retail on both.
Okay.
Yeah,
Enterprise, what,
and
like technology? Enterprise.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, and mostly Microsoft.
Okay.
And basically, I think the certification, when I was working at Microsoft, I was exposed to some project management work. Also, when I was back in Puerto Rico as a sales manager, I was involved. But I wanna I see an opportunity and I liked what I got the taste of it because I was not a lead. I was kind of a junior, helping here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like a senior pretty much guiding me through everything, through the whole project. So I think with the certification, I can basically focus on project management as my job search. And I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I would. So my advice to you then is, I would reach out to some companies that you want to work with. I would, look them up on LinkedIn. I would find, it'll tell you like who the hiring managers are for certain roles. And I would say, hey, I see that you guys are hiring for a position. I'm actually not ready to apply just yet, but my background is in X, Y, and Z. It's in enterprise sales for technology, and I have a lot of experience there. I'm getting into project management. I want to know if there's some folks that I can have an informational interview with. Are there project managers that are on LinkedIn that you can refer me to that I can interview them about your company? I'm trying to find a home, and I want to know what each company is about so that I pick the right one. Right those words right there to recruiters' ears are like, oh my gosh, all right, this person's out there. Who is she? What is she about? Okay, she wants to know. And then once you get in and you get people to like you, that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing is having connections, and that's like you're part of networking, and I don't think you're gonna have any problem with that. So, but that's a tactic. I don't know if you've used that tactic or if you've heard of that before, but it's called the informational interview, and you just want to talk to people within the company, you know, very casually about what the company's like. And from there, usually good things happen. What do you think?
No, I think I appreciate the advice. And yes, I have heard about informational interviews. I have never done one before.
Uh huh.
Usually I interview, when I'm either a candidate or I'm switching roles or that, but that is something that I will definitely start working on.
Yeah, yeah. You'll be surprised at how much that'll pay off. And there's a part of it. The energy you put out in the world is the energy you get back. So a part of it is this: while you may go on a bunch of informational interviews, and you may not get the job at any of those places, the fact that you were doing those interviews, like that energy comes back to you, right? So that's like kind of the yah high feeling version, right? But don't forget that a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, those people that you did informational interviews with, now that you are going to be in a role and now that you have built up experiences, they're going to be somewhere else because people usually bounce around every 3 to 5 years, and they're going to say, "Oh, I remember Alicia." And when you're looking for something else, they may reach out to you, or when you're looking for something else, now you have that connection of somebody that you spoke with before, and if you, especially if you guys hit it off and have a good time, it's always good to have connection. So that would be my advice there for you. All right, so
Great,
Flynn, I'm
thank
going to
you.
come back to you. I'm going to come back to Flynn, and then I'll go back to Sparrow, and then I'll go to Priyanka, and then I'll come back to you, Alicia. We have 10 minutes, so I'm going to go 2 minutes for each of you guys, and here's my thought. So, Flynn, I see you looking at your whiteboard. I know that you've got a bunch of tasks up there. Um, the one thing that I want to ask you is, have you guys as a team sat down and said, "This is my North Star"? I keep talking about the charter and this charter. Not that you need to make some very detailed and big charter, but have you guys written down like our North Star is X?
I mean, probably we haven't necessarily written it down, but like the end goal has always been to be end up going live with the software. Um, so obviously everything is kind of directed by trying to get there.
So the software, but okay,
Maybe I'm
software is
misunderstanding.
not your goal. The
Okay.
software is not your goal. Your goal is to have some tool that it sounds like that's going to help you manage all of your purchase orders, all of your stocks, be able to sell to folks, right? Am I getting that right?
Yeah. Oh, so I guess yeah, the North Star would probably be like spending less of our time fixing our systems and more of our time doing our actual jobs.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
uh,
So, what I want you to do is I want you to sit down with your team and I want you guys to come up with that statement, whether it's that specific statement or some derivative of that. But I want you guys to come up with that because then, as you're implementing the software, and this software likely has different components that you probably can add on. It likely has different ways that you can modify it for your environment. Everything that you do should be going back to that, right? You should be thinking about, okay, is this going to help us spend less time working on this software? Is this going to give us more time back, right? If that it truly is the goal, make sure that every single thing that you do is somehow pointing back to that in some manner. And if you find that there's a piece that you're doing and you're like, whoa, this is not really going to help us in that manner, then you can cut it off. It's dead weight. It's not there, right? So likely the solution has it in the 80%. It's going to be real easy for you to get. Did I tell you guys about Pareto's law, the 80-20 rule?
I don't
Maybe not.
remember. That could have been on the day that I missed. So if you had brought it up and it wasn't in the videos I reviewed.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule looks like this. It's Pareto's law. If you remember, Pareto's this famous philosopher. And at the time, his deal was that 80% of the finances are controlled by 20% of the people. And we now know it's like 99-1 this time, right? But But
You
now,
realize.
how does that relate to our work? Okay, it's like it'll take 20% of your effort to get 80% of the results. It'll take 80% of your effort to get the last 20%. I'll give you two examples. Think about anytime you see a huge building, a huge high rise go up. They put that thing up in months, right? It only takes like a month or two, and that whole thing is up. And in that, and so 80% of the work was done with 20% of the effort. And then it takes the last 80% of the effort with all of this labor to go in and do all the mechanical, the electrical, the plumbing, the fixtures, the finishes, all of that, right? 80% of the effort to the last 20%. The other example is think about when you write an email or when you drop a purchase order or anything like that. If it takes you 10 minutes to do, it took you 2 minutes to write it up, and then you spent the last 8 minutes kind of going over it, making slight tweaks, and then you read it and you're like, oh, let me change here, and then okay, this is good, right? So that's kind of like that 80-20 rule. So just know that likely this software is going to solve 80% of your issues like that, and it's only going to take you 20% of your effort to uncover that. The rest of your effort is going to be spent trying to finish up the last 20% of how do we really dial this in. And the reason why I want you to remember that is because oftentimes as people, we're like, you know what, we got enough of it, let's just drop it off. And it's human nature to sort of be like, oh, we got the 80%. Okay, I'm not gonna say you're giving up, but you just kind of like, we've got other things to do, other priorities come on. Keep that in the forefront of your mind. Deliver that message to your team members, and you guys always remember, we got the 80%. We're now trying to get the last 20, and then what's our North Star? And let's make sure that all of our effort is being directed towards the North Star. And I think that's going to make for a very successful implementation for you guys.
That's really good to keep in mind. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, Priyanka, for you, I think kind of the same thing. I think the biggest thing for you is visuals. Make sure that what you have is visually appealing, right? Whether you use a Gantt chart, whether you use a roadmap, and if you use a roadmap, let me see if I can. I need to get my. I've been taking notes for you guys on this thing here, but you saw the roadmap that we had in class. One of the things that you can do is you can actually literally draw out a road. And as you draw out the road, looks like that's not coming in. Maybe I should change the color here. My black marker is not the best. Let's see if red comes up. I try to avoid red. You're not colorblind, are you, Flynn? 40% of men are colorblind. So you gotta stay away from reds and greens.
Is it really 40%?
It's 40%. You wouldn't think it's that large. It's 40% of men are colorblind.
Now you have me scared there's a color I don't see.
No, if you can see the red and the green, you're all good. That's what it is. It's red, greens, and it's one more. I forget. All right. Literally, you would draw out a roadmap, and then you can have specific points where there's certain things that happen within your clinical trials, and then from there, you would have like some little arrow there. You would have like some little arrow here, maybe some little arrow there, and you would have these bullet points. Number 1, number 2, number 3, right? And let's say this is a PowerPoint slide. Then from there, you would go back. You would jump to this point where it kind of blows up this area, and you would show that, oh, okay, here's where we are wasting a lot of time, and it's impacting our bottom line in this manner. And you would keep going back and forth from the roadmap to point 1, back to the roadmap to point 2, back to the roadmap to point 3. Then what you do is you show your solution, and this is going to be for both the executives and your team members, because remember, you're going to have to give them the knowledge in this ADKAR model. When you get back to your team members, you're going to literally do the same thing, because then you're going to have that first roadmap that shows all of that stuff. And then in your second roadmap, you're going to draw it out, and you're going to draw a straight line. And without telling people, you're subliminally letting them know we're taking so long to get to something that we can just go here, right? The straight line is the shortest distance. So that's what I want you to do. Is I want you to do the old way, and when you do the old way, make it nice and squiggly and like a nice curvy road. And then when you do your new way, make it a straight road. And that visual right there is going to let people know, oh. And another part to create desire in people is like, hey, we're spending more time than we need to. We must be doing more work than we don't have to. My goal here is to try to minimize the amount of work that we're doing. So don't make sure that you always communicate that. It's not that I want to save time and I just want to manage projects faster. It's I want to make your jobs easier. I want to save you from doing more work. And by the way, if the company does better and we make more money, that should mean better bonuses for us. That's the
Hmm.
carrot. Okay? Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
it does. Yeah, that was brilliant. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay, then Sparrow. Sparrow. I think the same thing that I told Alicia. So both I think both you and Alicia um, have a similar thing in that you can do the informational interviews. But I think the biggest part is it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, because it sounds like some of the objections are the fact that you've been a consultant for a long time, and so folks are just like, hey, how do we know you're not going to go?
Yeah, I feel like I get told more often than not that like I seem overqualified for positions that I look at and go, I would have no idea what I was doing on day one in this job, but like would figure it out. But I just so much of my work has been more unstructured, more kind of like we're building something out of nothing. So like the processes and everything that are in place in larger corporations, and that like the way that it's talked about in this course, is something that I was much less familiar with. So I think that this kind of gives me a better idea of if I took one of those jobs, what it would look like on a day to day. And maybe also how to reframe the work that I've done so that it fits with sort of the schema that they're looking for.
Then I think informational interviews would be a good thing for you because you want to know what a day in the life is like at those companies, right? And then you want to be able. And the biggest thing is you see people say, "How do we know you're not going to leave?" Because they're like, she's too good. This is too good to be true." But when you do the informational interviews and people see your smile and they see your face, you got a lot of energy, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, but she's great. I think she would work out." They're going to give you the shot anyways. So that's one of the things that you can do, and it's twofold. It'll give you information about what a day in the life of a person in that role would look like, and then it gives them the opportunity to understand who you are and help get over that hump of the fear of if you're going to go. But always turn it back to them. Let me ask you this: why are you looking for something? Why don't you want to stay as a consultant?
Well, really just because the work that I've done, I kind of fell into consulting when I was applying for positions, and I would go to companies and they would come back and say, we can't afford to hire you full time in this role. Like, we think you're overqualified, but we would be interested in using you as a consultant. And so I really think that it's, partly because my qualifications have been more broad, versus like, when they talk about the T-shaped, it's like, I'm like I'm just the top mostly of the T. Like it's more broad and less specific to just project management. It's, like I said, it's fulfilling of multiple roles. And if I mean, honestly, like I feel like I have an inordinate amount of time that I'm not getting paid because I'm trying to convince clients to work with me or find new clients that are interested. And then every new client I work with, it's always new. It's always like, it's not like I have a product that I can just, sell it to one person after another after another. Each person I've worked with, their situation has been really specific to what their resources are, what they're able to do, and everything. So it's always building from scratch. And I don't have a team, so I'm always having to bring the team in. So I honestly, I feel like I just work too hard for what I think it pays well, but I don't think that it pays comparable to the amount of work I actually have to do. And so, I mean, yeah, I don't know if that's the right answer. I definitely wouldn't say that in a job interview, but I just want an easier job than
There's no
having
wrong
to,
answer.
build it from scratch every time.
There's no wrong answer. Here's what you tell them. Here's the things that I heard. So how do we know that you're not gonna go back to the consulting world? Well, for one, I one of the things you can always say is like I don't want to travel anymore. I don't want to have to work long hours. Even if you weren't traveling, working long hours, that's what we assume consultants do. That's the first thing you just say. Like, I'm looking and I'm here, I'm looking for a different lifestyle, I'm slowing down. But, for me, I find myself always in these positions where I'm constantly switching teams, I'm constantly building something new, and then I'm handing it off. And I really want the opportunity to see what would it be like if I were to be able to maintain this and do this year after year after year and improve upon a product. And so I'm looking for a new challenge, and I'm looking to really see what I can do given some continuity. And I'm hoping that you guys have the right environment, that your folks stay for a long time, so that as long as I'm going to be here for 5, 10 years, your folks are going to be here with me, and together we're going to do something great. So subliminally, you already put it in their head. Oh, she's going to be here for 5 to 10 years because you said it, right? So
Hmm.
just that's kind of like that. That's kind of the route that you want to take. Like, hey, I want a team. I don't want to keep building from scratch, and I'm just looking for a company that makes sure that their people don't leave, because I intend to be somewhere for 5 to 10 years, if not longer, and I want to make sure your people are going to be here too. And that's why I'm here on this interview. You have to let them know, like, I'm interviewing you as well as you're interviewing me. That's the big piece, right? So
Yeah.
also, when I told you earlier, which is like, hey, can I talk to some of your people? Always throw that back to them. What is it like working here? Always throw it back to them. And I think I have some resources on some interviewing resources. Shoot me an email so I remember, because I'm taking off right now. After this, I'm actually leaving to go train. I outside of managing projects and consulting with companies, I box. So it's kind of crazy. I have a fight in Atlanta on Saturday, so I have to go for my last day of training today, and so I'm immediately leaving here. So I might get hit in the head a couple times and forget everything. So shoot me an email, and I will send you that information back. All right, and then Elisha, I think I gave you
Yes.
everything that I could think of. Um, you and I are connected, so feel free to ask me any other questions. If it comes to you in Spanish, ask me in Spanish. I'll respond. Spanish or English, it's all good, um, and we'll go from there. So it's 5 minutes after 6. I'm a little late, but if I didn't have this last training day, I would be happy to stay on a little bit longer with you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the call tomorrow morning. And then keep in mind that every Wednesday, I do this, so I'll see some of you guys in the future. But either way, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Take care.